Well, g'day Moochers. It's day one of the lockdown, and I'm already getting itchy feet. But I'm a classic ants my pants kind of person, so this is going to be a challenging 4 weeks, but it's got to be done. So stay at home, don't go fishing, just sort out your gear, hang out with your fam and your friends who you're with, and we'll get back into it in no time. Anyway, I figured I'd take this chance to talk through some new gear that's arrived. So just before the lockdown, thanks to the guys at DAIWA, my new SALTIGA arrived. So happy days. So I'll give you my thoughts on it and the rod that came with it. But yeah, I'm by no means a tackle expert. I can't tell you the ins and outs of all the technical stuff. But I will tell you my initial thoughts anyway. For me, the thing that sticks out first is the weight of it and how compact it is. So I'm sort of comparing it to the Saltis Limited, which I fished with for the last 3 seasons. So yeah, as soon as I got it out of the bag, put the handle on, it's just super light compared to the other reel. So that's mainly because it's a smaller size. So I went with the 14,000 for a couple of reasons. One was because I was just impatient. There were delays with the 18,000 because of the COVID-19 fiasco. So yeah, I didn't want to wait for it, so I opted for the 14,000. I'm kind of stoked though because it's a hell of a lot lighter and it packs a whole lot of heat still. It's got 25 kilos of drag, which I don't think I'd even be able to hang on to that much drag anyway. So it's got plenty of drag. It's got more than enough capacity on its spool with the PE8 that I've spooled it up with, and yeah, and it's light, so it's going to make my day of casting a hell of a lot easier than with a heavier reel. Looks, well, I mean, people have their own opinions about the new colour and the new look of it. I think it's sexy as. This looks phenomenal. The rod I've paired it up with, which I'll show you soon, has the same colour combo too. So it's got the black and the gold. She looks spicy as. So really happy with how it looks. Super smooth as you expect. It's got this wicked clicker on it. Super loud. I had a crack with it just before the lockdown. Yeah? What is there? I'll go soup, please. Thanks. Yes, I gave it a crack just before the lockdown, and I hooked a fish. Had it on for all of about 10 seconds. Yep. Oh no! It was just one of those ones where just got a nasty angle, got me on some sharp stuff, and pulled the hooks, munched up the leader as well. That was the end of my leader there. Oh, I'm gonna go and have a cast in this workup because this looks good. So I was actually really lucky to get the lure back. But yeah, sounded mint when it was hooked up. It's got a really cool sound to the drag. Real mean click onto it. You certainly know that you've hooked something when it's screaming. So yeah, love that. It's got the egg-shaped handle. I quite like that. Fits in your palm nicely. Yeah. So overall, I'm over the moon. I reckon it's such a mint reel. I've never fished with something this flash before. So I've always gone, I mean, the flashiest reel I had before that was the Saltist, and I still think that those are a beautiful reel. And if you're new to topwater, you can't go wrong with one of those reels. Really nice. If you can afford it, or if you're willing to save up your pennies for a long time, and you can get one of these, then yeah, I guess you're in another level altogether. So yeah, that's the reel. So 14,000 XH is what I went for, and yeah, I'm really stoked with it. I'll just show you the rod quickly. Again, yeah, it's a 2-piece rod, and I've gone for the SALTIGA. It's the C83 XH SDF. It is 8'3". It's the extra heavy spin rod. It's pretty heavy, so that was my first thought when I put it out of the bag, is I was like, oh, have I gone too heavy here? Especially with the stick baiting, because you know, usually I'd say you want a lot of action in the top section of the rod to get the lure swimming well. But when I first gave this a crack, still get the lures to do their thing. But this rod is going to give me a hell of a lot of stopping power off the rocks. There were times when with the Demon Blood, it was quite hard to get that extra bit of lift to turn their head at times, because those rods, there's so much action in the rod. Whereas I think this thing's going to just give me just that grunt off the rocks just to stop fish in their track. So I think I'm going to be able to bully fish around a metre long. Well, that's what I'm thinking anyway. Or I happen to tangle with something much bigger, it's going to give me a really good shot. Yeah, it's got all the flash componentry, the guides, everything's just beautiful. So and the reel seat, really nice too. It's got this bottom thingy here, but it really locks it in place. Nothing worse than when you're fighting a fish and this is sort of unraveling and you're trying to do this up as you go. So yeah, really nice reel seat, nice and simple. And yeah, the color combo, I don't know if you can quite pick it up on here, but it's got that same black and gold look to it that the reel does. So yeah, she's looking good. Yeah, so that's the rod. Casts nicely, works the lures nicely. It's got so much grunt. It's got power right the way through the rod too. The power in the rod's quite evenly distributed. Yeah, it's really nice. So stoked with the rod as well. I'll just show you the braid quick. I'm just gonna grab it. Yeah, so the braid I've gone for is the SALTIGA X. This is, yeah, top of the range stuff as well. I've gone for PE8, so don't know if it's got its diameter on here. It's thin, but I think it's enough to give enough abrasion resistance if it, you know, you happen to rub off on the kelp and stuff. I think this is just going to cut straight through. Had a cast with it day before yesterday, cast really nice, didn't have any issues with wind knots or anything. The FG knot tied up really nicely too. Yeah, so, and I have been using this in the PE3 on the Certate, so and that's been awesome. So yeah, really stoked with this stuff as well. Yeah, so that's my setup. So I've got the 14,000 spooled up with PE8. I think it gave me about 200 meters worth on there, and that then is hooked up to the PE10 SALTIGA rod. So yeah, just need to now be able to go out there and get stuck into some fish. But yeah, those are my thoughts about those. Yeah, so if you've got any questions about the reel or the rod or even the braid, just hit us up, and yeah, I'll tell you what I think. Yo. Well, that's the end of my first outing with the new SALTIGA. Bit of a sour note really. I'd walked the length of the coast and oh no joy, I was just casting and casting away, no follows, heaps of bait around, but yeah, no follows. And then pretty much the last stop on the way back, a couple of swirls from Kauai, so I thought, oh, I'll give this a nudge. Cast the sticky out, and oh, 2 or 3 strokes in and got smoked. I think it was a really good fish because I had the SALTIGA dialed up fairly tight. Yeah, so I had the SALTIGA dialed up, and it just goes to show, no matter how much drag you've got with kingies, if they just catch you on a bad angle and find a bommy, it's all over. So that was the end of my leader there. Oh, I'm going to go and have a cast in this workup because this looks good.